Yay, you're here. Hi, I'm Shannon West, and I have an awesome card to show you that features template number 10 from page 22 of the Stampin' Up! Annual Catalog. Me and my three friends have prepared some awesome stuff for you today. It's our weekly card competition here in YouTube, and you get to choose the winner. All you got to do is watch the 4 videos and give us a thumbs up to the 1 or 2 or more that you like the most. Where are their videos? Well, you can find those in the description of this video right there. So head on over there after you watch this one and see what they've got to show. It's such a fun thing. We try to provide this hour for you every week so that you can have a good time, get some inspiration, and maybe learn a thing or two. And I've got some things to show you today. I can't wait. But first, congrats, Brandy, on a killer project last week. She did some treat packaging for some Halloween, what were they, peeps? Ghost peeps? Gross. But the project was way cute. And I can see why people voted for it. So you'll need to go check that out. Round 9 of the Great American Stampin' Show. And then my card was also awesome. It was a beach scene with the sunset. I loved it, but not a winner. And that is just the way it goes. So this week I've brought my A game again, and I can't wait to show you. Now, one more thing. Our October 2nd party is approaching super fast. If you want to attend that, grab my host code from the description of this video. Place a at least $35 order, and you'll be invited to that party on October 2nd. We've got some really fun demonstrations planned and some games and stuff, and it's going to be a really fun time. Okay, I think that's it. Let's go. Here is card sketch number 10, the Shannon's blown up version. But now that I look at it, I realize I didn't actually do it the right card size. This is only 5 inches instead of 5.5. Fortunately, that doesn't have any bearing on the template. So imagine this card is a 1/2 inch taller. So 4.25 by 5.5. The important part of this template is this big piece right here in the middle. And that one for me is going to be 3 inches by 2.5 inches. And it's a little bigger than the actual template that you see in the catalog, but that is where the magic is going to happen on my card. So I purposefully made it a little bit bigger than the scale in the catalog. And as I said on previous episodes with these card sketches, they're to inspire you or to give you a guide and help you lead the way. I've loved creating with these. It's just really fun because it gives you a starting point, and then from there you can really express your own creativity. And so I'm going to express my creativity today by doing some beautiful things here in this area. This is what I'm working with. I've got a cherry cobbler card base, some not very exciting other cardstocks. This one's watercolor paper. That is pretty exciting. And then I'll be using the Winterly Treetops Designer Series paper. I love this paper. Oh my goodness. It is so beautiful. I used it a couple episodes ago and I just didn't get enough. So there's all kinds of beautiful things here, but I'm going to use this one. I'm going to use this one right here in a kind of fun way. And then I want some of these bigger birds. Now, this set of birds right here, these twin blue birds, we actually have a die that cuts those out. And so I tried this card once using those, and I'll show you that card at the very end. It turned out beautiful. I absolutely love it. But I felt like it kind of left it open as to whether or not that was actually a Christmas card. And I want to have a really like boom Christmas card. That's my goal. So none of these were even good enough. I'm putting them aside. And instead, I'm going to use these little birds right here, this little twin. I mean, if I think of Christmas bird, I think of cardinal. And so that's where that comes into play. There's only one more on this whole 12 by 12. So I'm going all in with this, and it's going to work, and it's going to look amazing. I hope anyway. You get to tell me if it looks amazing with your votes. Okay, card base. So I'm going to do a fun fold here, something a little bit different. This is actually going to be a gatefold. And I loved gatefolds from the beginning of when I started making cards, but they've always been really hard. And so I've learned a hack. Well, I created a hack, I guess. And so this is to make it a little bit easier. So because this card is going to be 4.25 by 5.5, I'm going to score on either side at 2.25. Okay, so this one I know is just going to fold in like that. Where's my bone folder? No, it's pretty easy. And then this side, I'm going to do kind of a light score at 2 1/4, not a very heavy one, just to give the cardstock a little bit of give. And then I'm going to just match these up like that so that they perfectly match up, and then fold it in. I can't tell you how much cardstock I wasted trying to get these perfectly scored and lined up. And I don't understand, like, is my paper trimmer off a little bit, or is it the user? Probably the latter on that one. Okay, look at that. That's looking awesome. Okay, I've got a little trick that I'm going to show you too to keep this closed. A lot of times when you see a gatefold, you'll see a belly band around it, but I'm not going to do that. But first, before I forget, I'm going to take this piece of DSP, which is cut at, I think, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So I'll just cut at 2 1/4, right in half. So I've got 2 pieces. And these are going to be adhered right to the insides of my card. So I'll just add those here. So it's going to look like this. So closing here and then opening up. Oh, doesn't that look cool? Now, when I cut it, I cut it in the middle and put it that way, and I think that's fine. So they do match up. You can see this poor bird got chopped in half. But that may not really matter so much because they're separated. Okay, these are going to need to be creased really well for the next step. Moving on. All right, I've got a little scratch piece of paper here because I'm going to do some pretty heavy watercoloring, and usually it soaks through and gets to my table, so I'm going to protect it. Whew, my favorite part coming right up. This is shaded spruce. Whoops, and I'm going to do 2 little dots. This one, I'm going to add water to it. So I've got my water painter and just some water here just to make sure I can get enough quickly. And then I'll just add a couple drops to this side over here. And I'm going to have water in my brush too. But this one I'm leaving completely pure and, what do you call that? Like strength, maximum strength. Okay, so I'm just doing a watercolor wash on this. So I'll just put a little water, and I've got a tissue nearby because sometimes the water gets a little crazy. This watercolor paper is so awesome. It soaks up a lot of the water, and so you might have to add a little bit more. Okay, so now with a watercolor wash, what I want to do with this is to make it go dark to light. So I kind of have to work with this a little bit, and you'll see what I mean by that. So I'll just put the darkest color down here at the bottom, and there's different strengths of, how wet it is, and that's okay. Okay, and then it's just going to kind of bleed up to the top. Okay, so that's good. I want it to be lighter up here. So just kind of slowly let it bleed up there. But I want the whole thing to be different variations of shaded spruce. So that's looking pretty good. Might need to add just a little bit more water. I'm surprised. When I've done this before, I've had to come back and add darker at the bottom, but that doesn't look like that's necessary this time. And that is looking awesome. So I want to get that really dark color gone. So I'll kind of sop some of that up. And I really like the white space that's around. So I'm going to leave that there. And this is looking good. I'm just letting it soak into the paper. And then in just a minute, I'm going to heat it with my heat tool, and then it'll be nice and dry. Okay, my piece of watercolor paper is pretty dry. It looks like I burnt it a little bit, but that's just the way that shaded spruce dries. It has a brown base, I guess. I didn't know that for sure, but I actually want to go back in here and add just a little bit more, even darker. So I'm going to do that and then dry it again. As always, you really can never anticipate what it's going to look like when you're finished watercoloring. Watercoloring looks different every single time, so I always try to keep my expectations in check and have an open mind for what it will look like. So when I look at this, I see white space, which I love. I see dark to light, which I really wanted. This line that comes through here is from doing 2 different rounds of water, and that's fine. I think this is going to work awesomely for what I have planned. It's still a little bit wet, but I think it'll be dry by the time we get to that point. Okay, so let's move on. Let's see. I've got my little card here, and what I want to do is I'm going to work on the inside first because I'm going to close that up and it's going to be hidden. So I've got just this little piece of designer series paper with these cute little blue dots, and I'll just put this down across the bottom, and this is just going to be the inside where I'm going to write on it my Christmas greeting. So I'll put that along the bottom, and then I have cut out these little pieces. What? Look at how cute that little bird is. Is this the definition of a partridge in a pear tree? I don't know, but it looks like it to me. Let's see, does it go better there here? I think I'm going to put it on this side because it's like looking at the card. That looks so cute. And then I got this little pine cone. I don't know if I'll want that or not. It's kind of covering up the, I don't know if that's weird. I just cut it out to see, whoops, this is off the camera, I just realized. So I don't know if that will work or not. I think maybe we'll just go with the bird this time. That is looking so cute. I really didn't plan that, but I love the red frame around that. That looks adorable. Okay, so I'll set that aside for a minute. Now I'm doing the fussy cutting for this, and I wouldn't consider myself like a really awesome fussy cutter. I think I'm pretty good. I wouldn't say that I love doing it either. Some people think it's so relaxing. I heard Brandy say that on a recent video. She's crazy, but anyway. But sometimes you just need to do it, and so I've learned to kind of embrace it and just go for it, because it can really let the designer series paper be the star of the show. Okay, the little twin birds are finished and they've got dimensionals on them. They're just gonna sit right there for a minute while I do the next step. I've got about 14 inches of shaded spruce. What is a shaded spruce satin and sheer ribbon? This stuff is so yummy. I love it. And let's see, if you look at the template, where did my template go? Oh no, I've hidden it somewhere, never to be found again. Just kidding, here it is. See, I think this implies a bow or a knot tied in the middle with 2 tails, but we're going to improvise just a little bit here. So I'm going to just take my ribbon and just kind of like roll it up so it sticks up above the top, sticks up below, and then it just goes kind of like that and kind of flips out the side of the card. Now this is a piece of gray granite, which is, it's kind of like a Z. This is in the suite, and this piece is just to help me with my process of what I'm doing. It's not necessarily important. It's more functional than decorative, but I definitely needed something that was in the suite. Okay, so that, I'm just going to stick this down now with a little bit of Tombow, and I'm trapping that ribbon in there. And the first time I did this, I just stuck it down with dimensionals and it was still stuck by the card, but I wanted to trap it in there because it gets in the way of my special fun fold magic that I'm about to show you. Okay, that looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these down now so that these guys are gonna be on the card. Actually, I feel like they should be saved for very last, so I'm still gonna just let them sit there. Okay. Now what? This card is looking so cool. What I'm going to do is stick this down, but I'm only going to stick it to this side over here. And I'm only going to do it with dimensionals. So I've got a mini dimensional. I'm just going to take the edges, let's see, okay, and stick them to the very top up here. Okay, so those are just the top, and there's this piece that goes right, or a space right in the middle. What is that space for, Shannon? Why are you doing this? Well, look at this. This little piece of designer series paper that I've cut is going to fit right there in that space. Ooh, I'm excited. Okay, so what I'm going to do to this, though, before I put it in there, I need it to look like that little banner piece. So I'm just going to cut a teeny bit. It's like 1/8 of an inch, and make the banner sides. And then I'm going to slide that through the middle so that we don't have to have a belly band on this card, but it will still stay closed. I mean, you really could do a belly band, but I don't know. I just don't really like those because I feel like they're not connected to the card and then you lose them or the card doesn't stay open or whatever. So anyway, this is going to go right here. So I'm going to just flip this over and put adhesive here. So this goes on one side. And if I put my adhesive in the right place, it still opens. Look at that. It worked. Now this one is going to go on the other side. I feel like an engineer with this card. I have just really figured out something cool. Now I'm just going to place it in the middle, and I know my adhesive's in the right place. So that's going to work too. Okay? Look at that. Okay? So that's staying closed. And then when you want to open it, boom, it opens. And then when you want to close it, you just slide that right back through there. These guys are ready. They're going to go right here on this awesome watercolored piece. And whew, we are almost finished. Now I'm going to do something now that I meant to do about 4 steps ago. You know, you can always count on me to do things out of order. There's like products flying everywhere. My snips flew on the ground. Luckily, they didn't stab my foot, you know. Merry Christmas. This is just going to go right here in the corner, and it's going to get a little messy with the embossing powder, but that doesn't matter. It's going to be worth it. Where did I get this greeting? I have no idea. Where did it come from? It came from this. Greetings of the Season. This is a really cool bundle. It has some dies that go with it. But I didn't use the dies because I just wanted it right on the card right there. I couldn't figure out a way to, you know, get that to work also. So let's sprinkle a little bit of this on here. Whoops. Well, that is pretty much the worst embossing job I've ever done. But oh well, it was the very last step on my card, so I can't fix it now. It is what it is, and maybe you'll give me your sympathy vote. And maybe you'll be wowed about something else about this card if it's not the embossing. These are the Petal Pink and Pretty Peacock foiled gems. I mean, it's Pretty Peacock. I didn't even realize that. I just was thinking these were such a perfect color for this card. And so let's see, that one probably it needs to stay on the green though, or else it does kind of look Pretty Peacock. So I'll just fit that right in there in the corner. And maybe it can go on there. Yeah, I like that. Let's just put it right on the leaf. And maybe one more little one up high up here. And this card is finished. What do you think? Let's look one more time. Fun fold, gatefold, open up. Peekaboo. This is maybe like one of the busiest cards I've ever made, and I love it. I'm super happy with it. Now here's the other one that I told you about. The twin bluebirds. Oh, it's so beautiful. This watercoloring is Blueberry Bushel, and I used almost all colors in the Winterly Tree Tops suite except for I did Shaded Spruce because that matched the ribbon, even though in the end it kind of does look garden green, which is the color in the suite. But anyway, oh, this one I didn't put back through, but anyway, that goes through the same. And I don't have this one decorated as well, but you can see some different gems, different ribbon, still a fun fold card. Fun fold. That's it. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you watching and voting and subscribing and whatever you want to. You can head on over and join my Facebook group if you want. Link is below, as well as signing up for my mail list. So if you like Stampin' Shenanigans like me, then let's keep in touch. Okay, see you next week. Bye-bye.